The Scarborough Food Security Initiative, simply known as Feed Scarborough, has been helping those in need in the East End community for 6 years. The organization is now expanding its offerings in an effort to redefine how we tackle issues around food insecurity. And joining us now to discuss Feed Scarborough's evolution is its founder, Suman Roy. Thank you so much for being with us today to talk about an issue that's impacting so many across the GTA, but I want to focus a little bit on Scarborough here. So your organization, you say just providing food, simply providing food, that's just not enough. At Feed Scarborough, you're addressing food insecurity at the root cause. What does that mean and what does it look like?
First of all, thanks for having me, Faiza. So when we see the news, we see reports coming from various organizations about people coming to food banks has risen drastically. And we haven't seen anything different. 4 years ago when we started, we were serving 1,000 people. Now we are serving 8,500 people.
Wow.
So that is the growth. However, if we continue just doing that, we will be doing this 50 years later again, and we'll have this similar conversation. So Feed Scarborough, what they're doing is we are actually getting to the root cause and helping people to get out of the poverty so they don't need to come to food banks. They are resilient. And that is our goal. Our vision is hunger-free, resilient Scarborough, but focus on resiliency. So we aligned ourselves, and we were figuring out how to do that, like any new organization. So we looked at the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And that framework is amazing because though there are 17 goals, you cannot do one without the others. And so we adopted that very early last year. And we aligned all our programs, old and new, with the SDGs. And the result is tremendous. We are seeing that we are actually on the ground eliminating poverty by getting people income security.
So what does that look like? You're adopting this UN approach. You bring it to Scarborough locally here. What does this holistic approach look like at the local level?
So at the ground level, what it looks like is when we look at the SDGs and we are thinking of a program or we are thinking how to solve the issue of poverty or food insecurity, we are looking at all these 17 SDGs and putting them all together to come up with a program. A great example is Food Hall TO, which we opened earlier this year in partnership with the City of Toronto. And it's a food court. It's open to public. It's a regular food court. All of the booths are managed by newcomers into Canada. Many of them are refugees. Some of them have been living in shelters when they when they come new in this country. And we are training them on how to start or work in the food business. And once they graduate, then they either find employment in the food business or they are starting their own business. And we have seen in the first cohort, we had 6 community members. They were all living in shelters. They were brand new refugees into Canada. And now they all have successful employment with places like TDSB and York University. So we have elevated them from poverty and food. They were all our clients and in our food bank.
And what I'm hearing from you too is just at the top level, you're not only looking to address food insecurity, but also housing challenges, employment. Those are all the things that you say it's all connected.
Absolutely. And we all say that in Canada, food insecurity is not lack of food. It is access to food. And income security is a big part of that.
And so you say that this has been in practice for a year and a half now. What's the end goal and how soon? And we've spoken before and you said the goal here is to shut down so that no one is dependent on food banks. What's the goal in the long run with this approach?
So we have seen a few things within our clients in the last year. A year ago when I asked my clients that if we shut our food banks down today, what's going to happen to you? When 91% of our clients said, well, we're going to go to bed hungry. 3 weeks ago, I asked the same question. 46% said we're going to go to bed hungry. Wow. So we are making the shift, though it's very quiet, though it's very slow, but we are making the shift that people are not 100% relying on food banks. Yes, now with the affordability, with the housing crisis, they are still coming to food banks for a little better life, but they're not going the number of people who's going to go to bed hungry without food banks in our community, in our catchment, it's coming down slowly. So it's making an impact. Many of our clients have found jobs. We have helped over the last few years, we helped start over 30 businesses in this community, small businesses, but they started getting income. So that is the kind of work that we are focusing on more. And over the next little while, our plan is to create hubs where we actually train newcomers into finding employment, look at their certification, look at their experience, and kind of figure out how we can retrain them and get them into an employment that's going to help them.
Yeah, empowering folks here. Suman Roy.
100%.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure chatting with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.